Hi, Mochismo Eugene. Welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. Please like, subscribe, share, give a thumbs up to this video if you found it helpful. Pass it on if you believe someone else will benefit from it. I would appreciate that. Let's talk about Scapegoat, Golden Child, the favorite one. How this plays out in a dynamics of not only the family unit but workplace, friend circle. It just, it goes beyond just the family circle, and I'll show you how this looks. You have a person at work, they're the one that takes the fall oftentimes for everything that goes wrong within the company or in that department. If there's a reject on a product, even if that person didn't have anything to do with it, they will have to take responsibility for the fact that they were somehow responsible for the person that made the mistake. That person was under them, if you get the gist of that. They somehow find their way back to the person who's the guinea pig, the scapegoat, to cause them to take the fall of the responsibility for all of the mistakes made, never taking credit for anything good. And this is the same as it plays out in the family. But I don't believe anybody ever talked about how it plays out just in general society outside of the family. And so back to the workplace, and you have the golden child at work, the person that seemingly is the favorite, the one that seemingly is the one that does everything right, even though you, the observer, you are, and seeing things for what they are, knowing that it's all just smoking mirrors. This person is not all of that. Matter of fact, they're being propped up to be made to look like they're the golden child, because they do this for a couple of reasons. Narcissists, they pick and choose, and they negate a certain person to be the golden child so they can give all of their fake love and adoration and attention to, and that's supposed to breed this disconnect with you, the onlooker, the one who's being left out, the one that's not getting what that one got. And it causes these types of things within the person who's being left out, confusions and whatnot, and a lot of different other emotions. So when that person grows up into adulthood, they are either a loner, safe rather than sorry. They play it safe as to their ideas, their opinions, and a lot of times this is a very bright, intelligent individual, but your ideas are actually they're noticed very young that you are in fact that one that's gifted. And at this workplace is no different. They notice that you have something to offer to this company. They know you have a zeal for teamwork and camaraderie. They see you are able to think on your feet. You're able to problem solve. You're able to form opinions and thoughts and ideas in your head, and you can present that to people when they can't. They know your steps, and your step that leaps and bounds ahead of them. This bothers people, and so what they have to do, they have to find something wrong with you because they see everything right with you. And so at this workplace, you're that one that's always getting blamed for stuff. You're that one that's always looked over, and this golden child, the favorite one, is being doted on. And so this causes you to just stop sharing and stop giving your ideas because you know they're not going to be received. But it doesn't really take away from who you are. You just begin to tone it down, and that's what the narcissists want you to do. They want you to tone down who you are. And as soon as you turn up, you've won. When you awaken and you turn up again. Because this time when you turn up, you're speaking directly to the situation. Regardless of what kind of audience you got, you're going to continue to speak. And so when they can't mute you, they have to do something about it. And so this is how that person who's the scapegoat often gets fired, demoted, terminated, or whatever. And while the golden child, or even wrote up, let's see if the scapegoat gets written up, you'll have the golden child, the chosen employee, golden employee, and you'll have also minions that a lot of times are empaths, but just don't know they're empaths. I'll show you how this looks. Employee gets written up for something that the minions know that he shouldn't have got, or she shouldn't have gotten written up for. But instead of them being appalled at the fact that this person even got accused or written up for nothing, they would rather keep it down, keep it on the low, and tone it down. But they will talk about it in the break room under their breath. Oh, I don't think they should have done it. That was wrong. But at the same time, they won't have enough courage to stand up and pledge allegiance to one another and say, you know, that was wrong. If you're gonna do that, you got to do this to us. I don't think it's right you wrote them up for that when it should have been that person. And so you won't immediately say anything. And a lot of times these minions, and often they are unawakened empath, they will lean more towards that golden employee and in silence, knowing that that good-natured employee just got done wrong. And so they will sit there in the shadows because they are job scared. It's self-preservation mode. And so this is the world we're living in a big way. There are a lot of people in the family dynamics as well when you talk about golden child scapegoats. The sisters know that the brother shouldn't have got reprimanded by that parent because they don't have any evidence that that brother did what they're being accused of, and you can see it in that brother's eyes. You know your brother, you know his tone, you know when he's guilty, and he's emphatically being honest that I didn't do this, and still he gets reprimanded. And the ones that are not the scapegoats, the non-scapegoats that don't get the punishment, they know better. They know they shouldn't have been done to this brother, but again, they won't say anything because they are in fear that they may get the same thing. And so a lot of times people pledge allegiance to these narcissists, these dark entities within the family structure or at the workplace, because they don't want to be given a reprimand similar to what that scapegoat got. And so this is kind of how people were in biblical days. They knew the Christ was the truth, the light, and the way. He spoke like no man had spoke before. And when you become awakened, you as a chosen one, you will speak like many people don't speak. You will speak like a way where people will not even understand it. It will be not so much so eloquent. It will be something that's next level. And they're wondering, what makes you so different? They're wondering because they fail and refuse to acknowledge the one who gave you these gifts. Because their ego won't let them see it for what it is. You're not taking credit for the things that you possess. You just know you possess them. And you're owning up to them. But the people who don't connect and can't connect for their refusal to submit to God and his spiritual ordinances, they won't connect with this. And so this is how that scapegoat, golden child plays out, not only in the family dynamic, but in the workplace, the friend zones. You'll have a whole group of friends who will stop speaking to this ostracized friend simply because the narcissist head honcho or the head lynchman is swaying them indirectly not to deal with them anymore. And narcissist has gotten in a knockdown, drag out fight, verbal fight with the scapegoat friend, blaming them, excessively, overly blaming them for something that they are not even guilty of, false accusing them, and then not only doing that, smearing that scapegoat friend to all the other friends, the minions. And so this is why the persuasion comes in, because the narcissist is already went ahead of you, and given that they've laid down they've laid down the red carpet for these minions to just walk on. And so it's kind of like when you in fact be the last one that realizes that this narcissist is creating this friction out of the blue. This is why it's so hard for you to get the support of those people around you that you thought had your best interests at hand. They'll become so quiet you can hear a mouse pee on cotton. But thank God for that, because guess what? The liberation in when you woke up is when these people began to start dissipating. They start disappearing. They did you a favor. You need to understand that. That being said, bless.